Before I start with tonight's topic and lecture, I just want to say a few things. The first thing is, I'm really honored to be here again between you, my brothers, my sisters. I thank Allah Azza wa Jal for allowing me to serve His religion through you. I truly was looking forward to coming here to be with you. And in a little bit, I will clarify and explain why I chose this lecture series for these 10 nights. But before I say this, Muharram started tonight. Muharram, alongside with Shahr Ramadan and Al-Fatimiyya days, are the main events that we have. The main events every single year. Ashura, Shahr Ramadan, and Al-Fatimiyya days. In these events, these three events, they can, and they are, and they will be life-changing. I know so many stories from so many people whose life changed during either Shahr Ramadan, Ashura, or the days of Fatimiyya. And I'm personally one of them. My first big change that happened to me in my life was during Ashura. Then the second big change that happened to me was during the Ayyam of Shahr Ramadan and the holy nights of Al-Qadr. So we all come to attend the Majlis of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. There is no other event that gathers as many Shia as the Majlis of Imam Hussein. So we have these 10 nights. And I want everyone to benefit from these 10 nights in the best possible way. Because we come to the Majlis for Imam Hussein. But I hope that everyone really comes for Imam Hussein. Because some people come for their own pleasure, for their own enjoyment. It makes them feel good. They think it's a link up. They enjoy performing Latmiyya. They enjoy listening to the Majlis. They enjoy wearing black. It's true. But we want to go to the Majlis for Imam al-Hussein and for whatever Imam al-Hussein stood for. He rose for something. He didn't go just for us. He didn't say, إِنَّمَا خَرَجْتُ لِكَيْ يَبْكِ الشِّيعَ عَلَيْهِ. I will say something regarding the tears. I will say something in a bit. But Imam al-Hussein said, إِنَّمَا خَرَجْتُ لِطَلَبِ الْإِصْلَاحِ. Okay? I only rose to seek reformation and renovation in all aspects of society. All of them. Individually, on a social level, in every field. Social relationships, nature, environment, spirituality, mental health, physical health, everything. That's why Imam Hussein alayhi salam rose. To seek reformation. And that tear is needed. We have to shed this tear. But let it be the real tear that makes us move. So that when we leave the Majlis, or when we leave these 10 nights, something in us changed. We are more aware of life, of the goal, of the main mission of Imam al-Hussein. We don't want to come 10 days, just escape towards Imam al-Hussein and go back, return the way we entered these majalis. No. These tears that we shed, they should move us. They should change us. It is needed. This tear is emotions, is love. But let's love Imam al-Hussein for his goals and missions. We can't attend the Majlis of Imam al-Hussein and claim that we love him, but we neglect his main mission and his main purpose and the things he stood up for. Don't understand me wrong. This tear that we shed, according to the narrations, it forgives all our sins. It helps us increase. It purifies our hearts. It purifies our eye. But let it be the real tear for Imam al-Hussein. This is why we're here. This is why we're sitting under the minbar of Imam al-Hussein. This is why we all came. We were black, we come, we want to mourn, so we can go out stronger, seek reformation. This is the main mission of Imam Hussein. We can't neglect this. We need to ask ourselves every single night, what did we learn from Ashura? What are our main takeaways from Ashura? How can I be like Imam Hussein and everyone else in Karbala? This is why we mourn the tragedy of Imam Hussein. And in the past 2 years, heck say of it, I spoke about the lessons from Ashura. Lessons from Ashura. So this year, I chose not to speak about lessons from Ashura. They're already available online, etc. But I chose to speak about something else. About the topics that you all read, that you all saw. But because I want with you to seek reformation when it comes to our worldview. Of how we understand things. How do I understand myself? How do I understand perfection? How do I understand religion? Allah Ta'ala, Shaitan, Imamah, hereafter, freedom. Let's have the proper understanding of things. Okay? Let's seek reformation when it comes to understanding ourselves and everything else around us. Because once we understand everything, then it is easier for us to believe. It is easier for us to act. Because we are getting told things, but we find it hard to believe in them. People tell us, this is halal, this is haram, this is how Allah is, this is how shaitan is, this is how religion is. But we still don't act upon it. Because we don't understand it. So, in these 10 nights, inshallah, I want to speak about a bunch of things with you, so we can all have a better understanding of certain things. And if you really focus, if you take notes, if you listen carefully, I claim and say that you will take what I say and you will apply it to a lot of things in your day-to-day life. You will understand things better in a different way. You will have the correct and real understanding. So this is why I chose the topics that I chose. And inshallah, for the upcoming nights, I'll try as much as I can, just for the blessings on the thawab that we can receive and get, just to recite some poetry in the beginning for Imam Hussein alayhi salam, known as Na'i. And yeah, inshallah, this is my plan, this is my intention, I hope. And I ask Allah Azza wa Jal for the tawfiq to do this. And saying this, inshallah, I think we can start with our main topic. But before this, a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So the main topic for tonight is understanding yourself. Look, there's multiple important questions that we will go through or find or seek answers to in the upcoming nights. But for tonight, we are going to speak about us, ourselves, and how we should understand ourselves. Because once we understand ourselves, we will understand everything else. I'm not saying this, the Imam is saying this, and it will come. Once you really understand yourself, because you know all these narrations that say, don't underestimate yourself because inside of you is the bigger world or the biggest world or something like this in Arabic. What does that mean? Like, who am I? What are my abilities? What is the reality of myself? This is what we will tackle tonight and speak about tonight. And then tomorrow we will speak about a bunch of other things. We'll speak about why do I do what I do? What do I want? What am I seeking in my actions? Because every day you take multiple actions. You do things every day. You choose things every hour. But why do you choose what you choose? Why do you do what you do? What are you looking for? This we will speak about tomorrow, inshallah. Today, we will speak about two things. What am I? And then we'll speak about who am I? What am I? Who am I? It's just as simple as that, and then I'm done. Okay? What am I? And who am I? When it comes to the question, what am I? The response is, you are not your body. This body that you have, this is not you. You're something else. I'll tell you in a bit. But this body is not you. It's just a dress. It's a uniform. It's a suit, whatever you want to call it, that was given to you so you can function in this world, in this dunya. That's it. But your reality is not this body. You are not this body. Because once you die, you will take off this body and keep it under the earth, and you will go somewhere else. Your reality will go somewhere else. You are not your body. Just like if you want to go swim or dive, you need a suit that's suitable for the water, right? If you want to go into the space, you need a suit that suits space, so you can function in space. So your reality needed this body so it can function in this dunya. It's just a dress. So that's number one. You are not your body. So your reality is something else. And that means that you do not own your body. You do not own your soul. I will explain why and how. But I said a few minutes ago, I said that if you focus and take notes and reflect and internalize what I'm saying, you will be able to take a lot of conclusion and results yourself and respond to things yourself from a correct worldview, right? When I say you are not your body and you don't even own your body, and I'll tell you why in a bit, right? Then this whole slogan of my body, my choice, we can put it in the garbage bin, can, whatever, right? So it's not your body, your choice. From a real perspective, if you're a Muslim and you follow Islam, it's not your body, your choice. Apply it to anything that you want. Abortion, other things, I don't care, okay? You are not your body. You do not even own your body because you do not even own your soul. Why? I have multiple things for you. Number one, when we say, Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. We belong to Allah and to Him we shall return. What does this sentence mean? Inna lillah. What do we mean by Inna lillah? What does it mean when we say we belong to Allah? That means we really belong to Allah. When we say that this universe, this planet, everything on earth belongs to Allah, He's the owner because He's the creator, right? And He created me as well. He created my soul. He created my body. He created everything that I have. So I really belong to Allah Azza wa Jal. In reality, I belong to Allah Azza wa Jal. Because everything belongs to Allah Azza wa Jal. So this body belongs to Allah Azza wa Jal. My soul belongs to Allah Azza wa Jal. Right? Because sometimes we say things, but we don't really understand what we're saying. We just say, Sami Allahu liman hamida. What does that mean? We don't know. In the fourth night, we'll talk about Allah Azza wa Jal and what the word Allah Azza wa Jal means. We say it every single day. Subhanallah, Allahu Akbar, MashaAllah, right? Every single day. But what does it actually mean? What does the word Allah mean? We'll talk about that. Anyway, when we say we belong to Allah and to Him we shall return, this body, this soul belongs to Allah Azza wa Jal. So I do not own it. That's why in Islam, it is forbidden to kill yourself. It is forbidden for you to make this body not function anymore. It's haram. Why? Because you do not own your body. You do not own it. It's not your choice to end your life. It's not your choice to do such a thing. In Islam, it is haram to humiliate yourself. It's haram to do things that will make people look down on you. To do certain things and actions, to act like a dog, for example, is haram. Because you do not own your body nor your soul. And Allah Azza wa Jal forbid it. He said, it's haram to do this. I don't want you to do this. So you're not free in this sense. And when I talk, inshallah, the last night when we talk about freedom and the real understanding of freedom, it will all make sense and fall into place. But it's haram to do this because you do not own your body nor your soul. And even shar'an, when it comes to burning your money, imagine you have $100 and you decide, I want to burn this $100. It's haram because this is an amana that was given to you. It's not your choice to burn your money. So when it comes to your money, how about your body? How about your soul? How about everything else? Okay? So when we say we belong to Allah and to Him we shall return, this is what it means. Okay? My body is just something that I was given as an amana that I have to take care of, but my reality is not my body. Okay, this is the first step, the first point that I want to talk about. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. طيب. Number 2. What are you then? If you are not your body, what are you then? You are a nafs, you are a soul, whatever you want to call it. This is your reality. Halla, I'm going to switch between these two terms. Halla, you listen to me, you will hear me say soul one time, nafs one time, no problem. In this case here, even though the scholars mention differences, I mean the same thing, okay? Even if I say soul or nafs, I mean the same thing. Type. But what's the reality of your nafs? What do we mean by nafs? When I say soul, what do we mean by that? Allama Tabtabai in Tafsir al-Mizan, he says a very simple explanation and tafsir for the nafs and what do we mean by nafs. He says, very simple, he says when you say ana, when you say I, he says this is what we mean by nafs. When the individual says ana, this is what we mean by nafs. As simple as that. And then he continues his bahth. I will tell you what he says. Okay? He says, ما يشير إليه الإنسان بقوله أنا. This is what we mean by nafs. What you refer to as I or myself or me, this is what we mean by nafs. Okay? This is your reality. I will say 3 proofs that he mentioned. Okay, the first one might be a bit hard to get if you don't have philosophical introductions. The second one might be a bit far, but the third one is, I'm sure for everyone, understandable and relatable. Okay? So he brings the proof forward. He brings 3. He says the first one is used by Avicenna, okay, Ibn Sina. He says, we always find that the individual, or let's say like this, the individual is always aware of himself, that which he refers to as I or ana. You're always aware of yourself. It is impossible to not be aware of yourself. Whereas your body, you might not be aware of your body. You might not be aware of your body parts at some point. And then he says what Avicenna says. He has the theory of الرجل المعلق في الهواء, the man who is hanging in the air or sky, whatever you want to call it, right? He says, if we imagined hypothetically that a man is just hanging in the sky, okay, and he's not aware of anything, not even his own body, he would still be aware of his own self. And that is his soul, his reality. It's not his body. He's bringing this proof forward to say that even if a man was standing between earth and the skies, okay, and he has his eyes closed, his senses are not active, he wouldn't be aware of his body, but he would still be aware of his own self, which is his reality, which is his nafs, which is himself. Okay? This is one. Halla, if you understood it, good. If you didn't, it's not a problem. Wait for the third one. But because we have people watching online anyway, they might understand this one and get it, so inshallah khair. طيب, proof number 2. He says, we recognize the oneness of ourself, which we refer to as ana or I. Okay? It doesn't have the materialistic attributes that our physical body has. Our physical body has size, has left and right and directions. We can split it into 2. We can split it into 3. He says, but the nafs, the reality of your nafs, of your soul, that is one. It doesn't have a direction. You cannot split it into 2 pieces. You cannot do anything that you can do to something that's materialistic. So, the nafs is nothing material. It's nothing materialistic. So, the nafs is something else, which is your reality. Okay? The third one, probably the easiest one to understand and to get, is the following. He says, even if we lose body parts or our body parts change, that doesn't change your ana. Okay? Bring any human being forward. If you cut his hands, his legs, everything in a way that he stays alive, okay, he will still say ana. And you will still call him by his name, and you will still say, this is this person. Even though he lost 70% of his body parts, for example. He will still be himself, because his reality is not his body. More than that, the healthy human being, they say, according to science, okay, every 10 years, we change our whole skin, right? The whole skin changes. Even when somebody is 2 years old, when he becomes 6 years old, everything has changed in his body. He doesn't even look the same. We still say, that's fulan, that's this person. Even though his body changed, the body parts changed completely, we still say that this person is still fulan. Okay? Because his ana is one. It doesn't change. His body parts change. His body changes, but he himself is still he himself, even though everything around him changed. So they bring this as proof to say that your soul is something and your body is something. Okay? But what's the relationship between body and soul? Okay, now we understand that we have two things. We have our nafs, our soul, and we have our body. What's the relationship between them? The relationship is, according to what the philosophers say, the following. They say, an-nafs, when they bring the ta'rif, definition of an-nafs, they say, an-nafs hiya al-mujarrad dhatan la fa'lan. I will explain, but in English first. They say, an-nafs, okay, the human soul, is abstract in essence, not in action. The human soul is abstract in essence, but not in action. Which means, in a very simple language, that your soul, your reality, is above anything that's madda or materialistic. It is abstract. Okay? Its essence is abstract. But when it comes to functioning in this dunya, okay, it is not. It is tied to your body. There's a deep connection between your body and your soul when it comes to your actions, which technically means that if you're hungry, you need to go eat and drink. You need physical food that you need to use in order to get the satisfaction that you don't feel hungry anymore. Okay? You feel pain, your soul feels pain through your body because they're connected. So, in other words, your nafs is abstract, is mujarrad, but it is connected to your body. When it comes to actions, you function through your body. This body part, these body parts help you to function in this dunya, to go from one place to the other, to eat, to drink. You use your senses to gain knowledge. You use your senses to gain ilm, so you can know yourself. Okay, so there is a deep connection, but your reality is something else. However, it is connected to the body. You need the body to function, to understand things. For your actions, you're connected to your body. You need your body. Okay? This is the second point. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. طيب. So till now, before we go to the second part, who am I? Just one more thing. When we say that body and soul are connected and that your reality is something else, is your soul, that does not mean that I can neglect my body since, it's not my reality. And no, it's just a dress, right? No, I said they're connected in a way because you need to function through them. You know through them. And there's a beautiful analogy or tishbih, we say in Arabic, to clarify this, to make this clear, to highlight this. Just like the antenna or satellite that you use, that you need in order to receive a picture on your TV, right? You need to turn the satellite towards the signal. Once that is healthy, your satellite is good and healthy and stable, and you have a good signal, you will receive the picture. Your body functions like a satellite, like an antenna. Healthy body, healthy mind. Healthy body, healthy nafs. So it's very important, and Islam highlights this a lot when it says go swim, put on perfume, shower, clean yourself, etc. Because this body is needed. You need this body in this dunya in order to function. So you need to maintain a good body, okay? Healthy body, healthy spirit, okay? Whatever you want to make slangs, I don't mind. But this body is essential. It is needed in this dunya. When we say this is not your reality, that doesn't mean, khalas, just neglect everything. Healthy body, sports, okay, means healthy mind, healthy spirit, healthy soul. Type. So this to the first part of the lecture. Now let's go to the second part. After we know now what we are and how we should understand our body and how we function through this body. Type. Who am I? Who am I? Type. We need to discover ourselves. And we do this when we practice something that is called jihad al-nafs. Jihad al-nafs is essential. Jihad al-nafs is important. I know so many people who don't know that there's something that's called jihad al-nafs, or that they even recognize their nafs in a way where they think or where they take the action to discover their nafs. Hala, when I mention a few narrations in a bit, you will understand what I mean. But look what we hear every single year in Ashura when it comes to the tragedy of Abul Fadl al-Abbas. Look how he treats his nafs when it comes to discovering his own nafs. Because once you discover your own nafs, you need to fight it. You need to be there. You need to understand it. Look what he says, and you all heard this poetry multiple times. It is attributed to Abul Fadl al-Abbas, but he says in one of the ash'ar, he says the following: Ya nafsu, look what he says, Ya nafsu min ba'd al-Hussein huni. He's talking to his nafs. He's talking to himself. He's telling his nafs to calm down, to chill, to follow the path of truth. Okay? And even when his hands are cut off, he says, Ya nafsu la takhshay min al-kuffari. He's talking to his nafs. He's taming his nafs. He's fighting his own nafs to tell her to stay steadfast on the path of truth. Ya nafsu. Ya nafsu. Okay? Some people don't even recognize that there's me and my nafs. Some people just go by their day and they don't know that there's something that I need to discover. They are led by their nafs their entire life without thinking, look, there's actually a battle that I have to fight between me and myself, between me and my desires. They don't recognize this, and this is scary. If we are followers and students in the school of Karbala, we need to be aware of this. The main problems that happened, everything that happened to Imam Hussein, because his enemies didn't raise their nafs, even though they knew the truth. But they still said, we can't. Okay? If somebody is on a diet, they say, Wallah, I can't. I have to eat this cake. I have to eat this burger. I have to eat this. Same thing happened to them, but on a bigger scale. They said, you know what? I can't. I want Mulk al-Ray, Umar bin Sa'ad. He said, I can't. And he said the words, أَأَتْرُكُ الرَّيَّ وَالرَّيُّ مُنْيَتِي. Shall I leave al-Ray? And al-Ray is my dream, or is something that I'm yearning for. It's a piece of land, right? أَمْ أَرْجِعُ مَأْثُومًا بِقَتْلِ حُسَيْنِ. Or should I go back with the sin of killing Imam al-Hussein? He knew, but he chose something else more important to him at the moment than Imam al-Hussein. And he knew who Imam al-Hussein was. He knew very well, but he didn't raise his nafs. He didn't understand his nafs properly. That's why he killed Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. That's why when he returned, he said to Ibn Ziyad, املأ ركابي فضة وذهبا إني قتلت خير الناس أما وأبا. Told him, give me gold and silver up to my knees, because I just killed خير الناس أما وأبا. He has the best parents. He knew that his father is Imam Ali alayhi salam and his mother is Fatima Zahra alayhi salam. He knew, but he didn't raise his nafs. He didn't go on this journey to discover his nafs, to raise his nafs. So this is very important. And the easiest way for you to recognize your nafs is just take this practice, daily practice, or just do it once. for 24 hours, just watch yourself. Observe yourself. What your nafs is asking you to do, and what you know is wrong, clearly wrong, and you still do it. And you cannot hold back. So there's something inside of you that's controlling you. There's something inside of you that's telling you, go do this. Even though your brain, your intellect tells you this is wrong. You still go and do it. Not only when it comes to halal and haram and sins, even when it comes to commitments like gym or studying or anything else, you know you should be doing something, but your nafs tells you, no, don't do this. You know what you're doing is haram, but you still do it. Why? Because your nafs is telling you, and you just let your nafs tell you without fighting back, without standing up and saying no. This is the easiest way to discover yourself. Just observe yourself and see what I'm doing. Is it right? Is it needed? Is it correct? Or no? If it's no, why am I doing this? Something inside of you is telling you to do it, and you follow and you do it. طيب. So the first step is for you to recognize your nafs, the reality of your nafs, the powers of your nafs. This is the very first step. The second one is to start the discovery and the battle within, which is the strongest battle. Because once you can overcome yourself, you can overcome anything in life. It makes you the strongest human being. Once you are able to tame yourself, to tame your nafs, to fight your nafs, you will be able to do anything in life. طيب. Let's dive into some narrations for clarity purposes, okay, when it comes to understanding your nafs and what that opens to you. What doors and gates open to you once you understand your nafs, once you recognize your nafs. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. طيب. Imam Ali alayhi salam says, من عرف نفسه فقد انتهى إلى غاية كل معرفة وعلم. In English, whoever knows himself has reached the ultimate goal of all knowledge and understanding. If you really discover yourself and understand yourself, and Imam Al-Khomeini rahmatullah alayhi, he says, when he describes his nafs, he says, أنا أعلم بالمدينة. He says, I'm the most knowledgeable of the city. He describes his nafs as a city. It has tight streets, right? What do you call هيدا آخر الزروب الشارع المسكر? Closed end or something like that? I have the name in German يعني بس هلا ما حدا ذاكر. Dead end, أحسنت. So dead ends, right? Tight streets. Imam Khomeini says, I know the city of my nafs. And according to this narration, if you know your nafs, which is huge, which is massive, then you know everything. You know everything in life. Okay, look at the other narration, what it says. كمان عن الإمام علي عليه السلام. من عرف نفسه كان لغيره أعرف ومن جهل نفسه كان بغيره أجهل. In English, he's saying, whoever knows himself understands others better. I'll tell you why. And whoever is ignorant of himself is more ignorant of others. Because there's patterns that are similar when it comes to our nafs. Okay, you know some people when they say they know what you're thinking of, they know what you're going through, they feel you, they have empathy for you. Or when it comes to certain reactions, certain deeds, certain things you say, you see people react in a certain way. If you really understand your nafs, if you went on that journey, you will be able to understand their nafs, how they are thinking, what they are doing. You will be aware of everything around you. Yani it's take it as a life hack, whatever you want to call it. But in order to understand others, especially if you're working, if you're raising children, if you're a teacher, if you're working in education, psychology, whatever it is, the main thing, understand your nafs. Understand your nafs, you will understand everyone around you. Why they are smiling, why they are laughing, why they're reacting in this way, why they are so defensive. You will understand everything. Trust me, once you follow these steps, once you start fighting your own nafs, once you're leading this battle within, you will understand everything around you in a different way. You will see things others don't see. You will understand patterns and link points, others are not able to link them and understand them. Why? Because you are understanding your nafs. You are going on this fight, which is the hardest fight that you can go on, and then everything else becomes easy. Everything else becomes clear. Okay? Try it for a few weeks, a few months. It will change you. Literally, it will change you. طيب. Let's come to the famous narration that I want to explain, and I'm going to take my time explaining it, inshallah, and you will have a different perspective on that narration. I'm sure all of you heard this narration before. It is narrated on behalf of Imam Ali alayhi salam as well, where he says, "Man arafa nafsahu, faqad arafa rabbahu." He who knows himself knows his Lord. طيب. If you understand yourself, if you understand your nafs, you will be able to recognize or understand Allah Azza wa Jal. طيب, how? Halla, I'll tell you how. Before that, look what the Imam says when it comes, if you do not understand yourself. He says, أيضا عنه عليه السلام, من عجز عن معرفة نفسه فهو عن معرفة خالقه أعجز. كمان in English. Whoever is unable to know himself is even more unable to know his creator. طيب. So if you understand yourself, you will be able to understand others. If you don't understand yourself, you won't be able to understand others. If you know yourself, you will be able to understand Allah Azza wa Jal and recognize Him. If you don't, then you won't be able to do that. طيب. كيف? How come? I want to share a few points that highlight how understanding yourself will help you understand your Creator. How understanding yourself will help you to understand your Creator. But, very important side note, I'm not saying that Allah Azza wa Jal is limited to these attributes or that He is similar to us in these attributes. Okay? He's not limited to them. He operates maybe in a different way, but what I'm going to mention now will help us understand how He might function and operate. Once I mention the examples, you will know more what I'm talking about, okay? But it's very important. I'm not saying that He's limited to that or that He exactly functions the way we function. But I will share a few similarities between us and Allah Azza wa Jal. طيب. So the first one, if you recognize how easy it is for you, and you can do the experiment right now on the spot, you can do it later on, it's not a problem. If you understand how easy it is for you to create images and pictures in your mind, you will be able to understand how easy it is for Allah Azza wa Jal to create creation. Okay? You can do the experiment. If I tell you, close your eyes and imagine a tennis ball or an ant or a water bottle, whatever it is. Okay? It takes you a second. And if I tell you close your eyes and imagine an airplane or a mountain or Earth, planet Earth, or the sun, it takes you a second. Okay? You put the same effort. Maybe you didn't put any effort aslan, right? You just created an image of the sun in your mind, and it wasn't hard on you. It took you the same effort as creating an image of an ant or a paper or a tissue. Okay? So the same way you create images in seconds, and it's not hard and it's easy, right? I tell you, imagine 1,000 people, imagine a protest, imagine whatever you want to imagine, it takes you a split second. Maybe the second I'm saying the word, you're already imagining it, right? The same way Allah Azza wa Jal creates creation, and it's so easy. The Quran says, وَهُوَ الَّذِي يَبْدَأُ الْخَلْقَ ثُمَّ يُعِيدُهُ وَهُوَ أَهْوَنُ عَلَيْهِ وَهُوَ أَهْوَنُ عَلَيْهِ. And He, it is who originates the creation, then reproduces it, and it is easy to Him. It is easy. Just like how you create images, big images, massive images. In seconds, Allah Azza wa Jal can create universes in seconds. And it is easy. He can replace us in a second. It is easy. Just like how you created images that are big and massive in seconds. That's the first one. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. The second one, if you recognize how easy it is for you to move your body parts, without even saying anything, without even waiting, just the intention to move your hand is enough for you to move your hand, then you will be able to recognize how Allah Azza wa Jal says be to things and they will be. When we say, according to the Quran, وَإِذَا قَضَى أَمْرًا فَإِنَّمَا يَقُولُ لَهُ كُن فَيَكُونُ. Right? He doesn't even need the kun. He doesn't even say the kun because you don't need it. You just take the intention to move your body part and it moves. Allah Azza wa Jal, just Him wanting something and it is already without even saying anything. I'm just going to hurry up because I think time is almost up. So the third one. If you recognize how your nafs likes and loves its own creation, then you will understand how Allah Azza wa Jal loves His creation. Okay? Whatever you made, be it an idea you came up with, your own child, your own statue that you built, whatever it is, once you recognize how much love you have for your own creation and what you did, and I think maybe children are the most clear example that we can mention here, you will understand how Allah Azza wa Jal loves His creation and what He did, right? And this is what He says in the Quran in multiple places. فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ الْمُتَّقِينَ إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ الْمُحْسِنِينَ إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ التَّوَّابِينَ, and other verses along this one. The fourth one, if you recognize how your nafs likes to be asked and relied on, especially if you're a man, you have this desire, you have this love to be relied on when it comes to your woman. You want her to rely on you. It makes you feel like a man, like you're the protector, you're the provider. And same thing for the woman. When she has children, she loves this feeling when the children or babies leave everyone and they go to their mother. Like when the baby, especially in the first few months, when that kid is not silent with anyone except for the mother, it gives her a feeling of, I'm the mom. Yes, rely on me. I'm there for you, right? And when the baby goes to the mother and asks the mother for a favor or anything, she's happy to fulfill his need, right? So same thing. If you recognize how your nafs likes to be asked and relied on by your wife or by your children or whatever, you will understand how Allah Azza wa Jal likes and loves to be relied on. He wants us to turn back to Him. His door is always open and He says, come ask me. Come back to me. Rely on me. Tawakkalu ala Allah. Right? In the Quran, He says, وَاسْأَلُوا اللَّهَ مِنْ فَضْلِهِ. He's telling us, my door is open, just ask me. Rely on me. He loves to be relied on. He's the creator, we are the creation. But we turn to something else. We turn to somebody else. Even though Allah Azza wa Jal, He likes to be relied on, just like how you like to be relied on. The fifth and last one, inshallah, then I'll finish off, is if you recognize your poorness, your limitations, your dependency on Allah Azza wa Jal, you will recognize His unlimitedness, His richness, and His independency. If that's even a word in English. Sometimes I make up my own words. It is, yeah. Alhamdulillah. I have my own dictionary, but it's okay. Then you will be able to recognize Allah Azza wa Jal and His unlimitedness, His richness, because we are poor in our essence, and Allah Azza wa Jal says this in the Quran, right? Ya ayyuhan nas antumul fuqara. Fuqara, not as in we don't have money. We don't have money, but أنتم الفقراء, in your existence, in your essence, you are dependent on Allah Azza wa Jal. وَهُوَ وَاللَّهُ هُوَ الْغَنِيُّ الْحَمِيدُ. He is the rich. If you recognize your poorness, if you recognize how limited you are, you will recognize His unlimitedness. I'm sure every one of you at some point felt loneliness, right? Felt that he's alone. And that feeling bothered him. No one likes to feel the feeling of being alone. But Allah Azza wa Jal, He is alone. And then, like the next time you feel that you're lonely or alone or whatever, just remember Allah Azza wa Jal, He is and He always was, and no one's with Him. And no one can be with Him. But that makes Him Allah Azza wa Jal. We are poor and He's strong. We are limited and He's unlimited. Okay? طيب. I have a few other points, but I don't know how much time we still have. I don't want to ruin the program. I can still go for a few minutes. طيب صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. Just 2 more minutes, inshallah. I'm not going to take long. طيب. So once we know our nafs and we know the faculties of our nafs, there's something very, very, very important that we need to understand, okay, when it comes to our day-to-day life, when it comes to our desires, and how we should treat our desires, and how we should perceive our desires. Because these are faculties of our nafs. طيب. So we have rational faculties, our aql, our intellect, and we have animalistic faculties, our shahwa, our desires, the desire to live, the desire to eat, the desire of intimacy. These are desires that we have. We can only function properly, and please lend me your ears for a minute. The kids, طلعوا على المنبر لعبوا هون إذا بدكم. طيب. Once we understand our nafs and our faculties, we need to understand and know that these need to be in balance in order for us to function properly. All of them. If you're too hungry, you can't function properly. You can't pray properly. You can't read. You can't gain knowledge. Your body is not in its balance. Your nafs is not in the right balance. If you're too tired, too sleepy, you won't be able to function properly. Okay? Same when it comes to your other desires. If they are not in correct balance, you won't be able to function properly. And then no wonder when you come and say, I'm not spiritual, I can't focus in dua, I can't pray properly, I can't. Habibi, you're messed up. You don't know yourself, you don't know your nafs, you're not in balance when it comes to all faculties. They need to be in balance, all of them, because Allah Azza wa Jal gave you them. He gave you all these desires. They're not bad. They're not something that you should be ashamed of. No. He gave you all these desires for them to be balanced, to be used in a correct way, the way that pleases Allah Azza wa Jal, and then you can function properly. Then your journey starts in a different way. You move in a different way. You see things in a different way. Once your nafs is balanced, okay? Just take the example of not sleeping at all. How do you function? You don't function. خلاص, you're out of order. صح? طيب. So you need to understand your nafs. You need to understand its faculties. They were all given to you by Allah Azza wa Jal. He wants you to use them in a correct way, in a good way, right? If they're all in balance, you can function properly and move forward, inshallah. طيب. Just the last point, because this is like trending all the time. These life coaches, with all my respect, right? They always tell you, love yourself, love your nafs, right? Accept yourself the way you are. But how do we understand this from an Islamic point of view? Okay? We're not saying hate yourself. No one says that. Okay? You can love yourself. But if you love yourself to the extent or to a point where you stop working on yourself, where you settle, where you say, khalas, this is it, I just accept myself the way I am and I'm not willing to change anything, no. You can love yourself. But don't love yourself too much to the extent where you say, أنا راضي عن نفسي and I don't want to change anything. You either accept me the way I am or you don't. لا, we don't have this. The perfection path doesn't end. Okay? If you reach a point or stage where you say, I'm happy, I'm content with my nafs, khalas, I don't want to do anything anymore, know that you lost. Because it doesn't end. You always have to strive and work on yourself and on your nafs, right? Because if you reach the level of self-admiration, like the Imam says, he says, self-admiration prevents growth. In Nahj al-Balagha, Imam Ali alayhi salam says, al-i'jab yamna' min al-izdiyad. If you have self-admiration to the extent that you say, khalas, I'm good, then you won't grow anymore. You won't move anymore. Love yourself. But love yourself that you want to change every single day. You want to develop yourself every single day. Take yourself to the next stage. If you reach a point where you settle and say, khalas, I'm good the way I am, la. Inshallah, you're good the way you are, but there's always a better version of yourself that you need to strive for. Always, always. And what helps you do this is to set the bar higher. Okay, I'm going to finish off with this sentence. Set the bar higher. If you set the bar low, you're going to stop very quickly, right? If you think that for you to be a good Muslim is just to pray, fast, wear hijab, not listen to music, that's it, then you're going to stop quickly, okay? Some people, they have the bar that low, and then if they somehow, la samahallah, read Quran or pray Salat al-Layl, they come to the mosque like, get out of my way, this is my place, right? Or if he prays like Salat al-Layl for a week straight, he starts looking into the sky like, Jibreel, where are you? And no, I'm ready, right? And then he starts thinking, no one's praying Salat al-Layl, I'm praying Salat al-Layl. I'm reading Quran. I read a book, and mashallah, Habibi, why is the bar so low? If your bar is low, then yeah, you will be deceived. Your nafs will trick you and tell you you're good. But no one is doing what you're doing. But if you set the bar high, your nafs will be quiet. If you set your bar very high, then whatever you do, you will still be humble and be like, no, I need to work on myself way more. I'm not there yet. So we need to raise the bar a bit. Okay? Mish bas praying five times a day. I know in the West it's a struggle. It depends on the community, but I'm very optimistic when it comes to this community anyway. I truly, truly love the community here, yeah? I'm just telling you. So we need to set the bar higher, okay? That way, our nafs will keep striving and going and working, inshallah, without stopping. Saying this, I ask Allah Azza wa Jal to help us through the blessings of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, to recognize ourselves, to be able to discover ourselves the way we should, the way we need, in order for us to do what we have to do, to follow the mission of Imam Hussein, and to obey Allah Azza wa Jal the way He wants to be obeyed. Walhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa alihi at-tahirin.